Resolution 212-32.
Good afternoon.
To adopt certain amendments to the Granite County growth policy.
Okay, I'm sorry to clog up your process with lots of paperwork, but when I did the last one after we finished it, I noticed that I had neglected to put in there that you actually intend to adopt a growth policy corrections and amendments. And so I needed, this won't change the public hearing date or anything like that. It's just, I forgot to add it, one of my therefore lines. So this is a correction.
A revision.
A revision, yes.
Okay, so let me work backwards here. This is a first reading on a revision?
Yes.
Okay, so we will have this again next week. Okay? And that doesn't influence anything with the hearing date.
No, because the first resolution that got passed established the hearing date fine. This just didn't have the intent. I just neglected to put in that intent, that language that says you also intend to adopt following the public hearing.
Okay, so, well, that's okay, it happens.
Now,
So it's just first reading today, so it's the same except for,
It's the same except for that, therefore. And both resolutions will stand. One will have one of the public hearing statements, and this one has the intent to adopt statements.
okay.
so,
I guess I don't have any further discussion on that.
I don't either. Do you have any?
Susan, did you have any?
Linda and I talked about this, and it just because of the way the growth policy resolutions, the growth policy statutes read, I think it's important that you, that the resolution of intent should say that you intend to adopt it. You might decide not to, but the resolution needs to say that you intend to.
Okay. Anything else? All okay?
Everybody has a copy of it in the public?
You need a copy, Dick?
Yeah, I didn't think of
Well, everybody's got a copy, so. No major questions or anything? What we've heard before? What is it?
You're so polite. I just want to clarify something. So the growth policy as passed, the revision on the last planning board meeting, just the way that is what's been proposed.
Correct.
So no, there hasn't been any changes to that whatsoever. It was exactly as presented.
To the planning board?
And the planning board approved it.
The planning board approved it as was with the one correction that was to add that paragraph. That was it.
Okay. So that, could you read that one paragraph again? That they were adding?
Yes, I can. I got my copy here. Let me get to the right page. Okay, this is the paragraph they added in. Additional resources, the following documents and efforts relating to land and water use are referenced for the benefit and information of Granite County citizens. The Granite County subdivision regs, Upper Clark Fork River Basin Aquatic and Terrestrial Resources Restoration Plan, Granite County Hazard Mitigation Plan, the Comprehensive Community Economic Development Strategy for Southwest Montana Regional Plan. That's what got added.
What page is that on?
That's on page 35 of 61.
So it's just saying what they are,
It's
and
just
that's it?
saying there's these other documents available you can go look at, yeah. So it's just a reference.
That southern one, that southern Montana. Where do you go and find that one? Because from the last I heard that it wasn't going anywhere.
The Southwestern Montana Regional Plan.
Right. because who is it, Kathy Weaver? She was the one that was doing that one. And she never did any upgrade or anything, and I asked her what was going on, and she said she had personal problems and she doesn't know where it was going.
But if there's gonna be an upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, they did the first 2 meetings, the scoping meetings, and nothing else came out of it, so.
Are you talking about the SEDS? Is that what that is?
The SEDS, I've never heard it referred to as SEDS.
Sorry, let me look and see.
Well, and this is the thing, you guys really need to look through those and you can add and delete what you want.
Well, I
Okay.
thought we were,
I know what Elena's talking about right now, and that's incorrect. The SEDS is proceeding, that's the 7-county, economic development strategy plan. It's not correct that it's dead or not going anywhere.
Well, I haven't heard anything about it. The last I heard was they were going to have a meeting and put together all the visions and stuff from that meeting that they had in Phillipsburg that one time. So it's going on and we don't know about it?
It's a draft. There's a draft document out on the website for Headwaters,
Headwaters.
RC&D.
Hmm.
That's
That's the HUD grant, isn't it, through Headwaters?
No,
Okay.
nothing to do with HUD. It's the 5-year plan that Headwaters does every 5 years with the 7 counties for development, economic development. And that's in a draft form. Do you think it's not?
So there's a lot that could influence this growth policy even after you approve it. Still up in the air. It's like a living constitution, but this one is a living document that can be changed at any time, which wouldn't reflect the vision of the people of Granite County or anybody else. That's for the record.
Look at that.
Yeah, I don't have any further questions or anything. I just was getting mystified on that.
I don't know that.
I got it, Tom. As we already discussed, in Appendix B here, it says that the landowner should submit a written petition to county commissioners requesting formation of a planning and zoning district. The area proposed must be at least 40 acres in size, may not include land within an incorporated city or town, and the petition must contain signatures of at least 60% of the landowners in the district. That's what's in the appendix. That's what the citizens of Granite County said they wanted when they passed the growth policy. You apparently think that you have the option to do that on a county-wide basis with a contingency of citizens. How are you going to be imposing the zoning in the future?
How are we in the future?
Well, do you have any, does this make sense to you? Have you ever read the growth policy? What you did at Georgetown Lake is inconsistent with this. I'm trying to find out what you're going to do. I think the people of this county should know what you're going to do. I'm obviously personally affected by this. I've now had to put up $21,000 bond to keep my property at Georgetown Lake from being sold at the sheriff's sale. It's kind of a taking of my land. Is every citizen that comes in here going to have that has a disagreement with you going to have to resort to litigation and the threat of having their land taken away? Or are you going to represent the people and you're going to do what it says that you're going to do in Appendix B? That's what the people want. Why aren't you doing
Go
it?
ahead.
I have the floor,
It
don't I?
has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It certainly does have something to do with it. It's still in the growth policy. And I want to know what you're going to do as far as enforcement is concerned.
Mr. Chairman, if I could,
Yeah.
point of order, and this may be what Susan wanted to jump in for. This is public comment on the adoption of the revised resolution of intent. The matter is being referred to by Mr. Monitor well beyond that matter. I'd ask for the chair to find him out of order and proceed.
Okay, proceed. Okay, sounds good. Any other questions?
As a point of order on this, sir, do you understand what it says in here, Mr. Miller? I mean, is it complicated?
To the chair,
Are you going to keep
This-
that
this is
provision
not-
in there?
this is not question time, Mr. Chairman, this is comment period.
Comment time, no question time.
Well, what are you talking about? You're supposed to have public participation.
else
What do you
got anything
consider
to
to be
say,
public
officer?
participation?
We've heard you. That's-
You haven't heard me. You haven't listened to me. You said the last meeting you were going to take it under consideration. What did you take under consideration, and how are you going to impose that section of the growth policy? What you're doing is totally contrary to what the people want, what the people voted for, and I want to know what the hell you're going to do. Did you ever read the growth policy, Mr. Adams?
Started to, haven't
Huh?
gone all the way through it. No.
You haven't gotten all the way through it, so,
No.
but you're willing to litigate against anybody that comes in with a complaint.
Susan?
Do you have trouble, do you understand what I
Okay,
just read?
We've had enough. We're enough.
I don't care whether you have enough.
Dick.
I have the
Okay.
floor. It's public participation time. I have a constitutional right, under the Constitution,
Mr.
you have a
Chairman,
right and
can I
an
ask you to call the
obligation
sheriff?
to know,
If you keep
and I
on, we
can
will call the
participate
sheriff
in
and have you
anything.
renew it. Would you please
Pardon?
sit down and be
They're
quiet?
gonna call the sheriff and have you removed. So
You're gonna have
here's,
me removed for participating in a public meeting.
Uncovered. What
I
you're
suggest
doing,
you call
yes.
the sheriff and do that then, okay? I
Yeah.
would still like an answer to my question. Why is it, this is the law, this is the way that the people said they wanted to have the zoning enforced. You're going totally contrary to the will of the people and the vote of the people. You're negating the vote of the people, and why is it you're going to continue to do that?
Mr. Chairman, this is
Yes.
Susan Swimley, and I'm going to reiterate what your county attorney has already told you. The resolution before you simply says it's changed, not setting the public hearing, it's not to respond to any of the questions with regard to the growth policy. The resolution before you simply is to amend the previous resolution that set the public hearing and to give the public notice that you intend to adopt changes. That's all it does. Mr. Mata's questions are not appropriate before this body. They're not noticed before this body at this time.
It's not a
So
question
if
of
you
whether
would
it's
please call
appropriate.
for the
I have the
question so that you can
constitutional
proceed
right
on with
to
whether
know
you're going
and
to adopt
participate
the
in
amended
that
resolution
meeting.
or not, then we can go to the
Dick.
public hearing on the 26th.
We aren't gonna vote on it today, Susan, it would go on our agenda next week for a vote.
Okay, so you're going to pass the first reading then, is what I take.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay?
What about public participation? The
Well,
public
Dick,
has the
that's
right
enough.
to participate in the meeting.
So we.
Are you saying that you're not?
I'll call
We're
for the
done.
vote.
Are you gonna deny, you're gonna deny the constitutional right?
Okay.
2-3-201 says that you'll conduct an open meeting. Why is it you don't wanna do that?
Okay.
Why don't you guys resign if you
Oh,
don't wanna
Dick,
follow the
enough.
will of the
Shut your
people?
mouth.
Why don't you be quiet or we will have.
Because I don't think I have to be
Speaking for one
required.
person,
okay?
yourself.
Speaking for one person, yourself.
okay, that's it.
You do have the right to be heard, but you don't have the right to shout and yell when they're talking about other business.
Okay.
You have the right to mumble over there. Why don't, I don't think I'm shouting and yelling. I think I'm posing
Get a
my,
good
Enough.
set of hearing aids.
Enough.
I got a hearing aid, okay?
Another
I
one.
can't hear what you're mumbling over there.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go on.
Okay, I just have a question. If that was the first reading of it, when is the second reading gonna be?
It's scheduled for next week at 9:30, I think.
No,
I thought it was next week.
That's enough.
Next week. Oh, it is 9:30. You're right.
9:30 next week.
Yep, you're right.
yep, 9:30.
So clarification, it's gonna be 9:30 on the 26th,
Yeah,
Yes.
and at 10 o'clock, the public meeting
Yeah.
is gonna be.
that's correct.
Okay, thank you very much. Rushing things like usual. Thank you. Let's go.
Suggest you read the damn thing, Mr. Adler.
They're not gonna read.